You're looking at a picture of Greenland. And normally, at this time, they would be able to cross this area of water because it would be frozen. It would be frozen ice. But the melts are earlier than ever this year. And if Greenland melts, if the ice cap in Greenland melts, it's going to raise the sea level by 20 feet. 20 feet. It says so in the article. I'll link below. Now, what happens if half of Greenland's ice melts? That is a very real possibility within the next 10 years that half of Greenland's ice will melt. It could be 10, 20 years. What's going to happen? So once again, I'm going to revisit this map to show people what is going to happen to our area. And this map only gives us, it only goes up to 10 feet. All right? Only goes up to 10 feet. So what's going to happen along that? Well, you'll notice that almost the entire South Shore is underwater. Yep, the entire South Shore is underwater. So let's take a look at it. Let's zoom in and show you what it's going to look like in possibly 10 years at the rate we're going. Especially if Trump gets another term. He just cut another regulation today. So Long Beach is going to be underwater. Jones Beach is going to be gone. Far Rockaway is going to be gone. This whole area is going to be... JFK is going to be underwater too. Look at the city. You're going to have it Coney Island underwater. Some parts of downtown will be underwater. I'm going to try to get a little closer with this map. Alright, I want to really go over this map in detail with you. Yep, a lot of areas are going to be underwater. A lot of areas in New Jersey. We're focusing on Long Island mainly. All right, and all the areas. Let's take a look at some of the various towns on Long Island here. Let's take a look at some of the various towns. So this is Rockville Center right here. This is Rockville Center right here. All right. It looks like part of Rockville Center will be underwater. The park, Smith Pond, this whole area will be underwater. So part of Rockville Center will be underwater with 10 feet of sea level rise. Alright? This is 10 feet, though. If half the ice in Greenland melted. But of course, that doesn't count the ice in other places. Alright? This is still very conservative. Oceanside will be underwater. Long Beach will be underwater. Anything the blue here you see is underwater. And under quite a bit of it, too. South Baldwin, South Freeport will be underwater. And here we come to our favorite areas. Our favorite areas on the South Shore, Merrick and Belmore. Well, it looks like the water is going to be coming up to Sunrise Highway in certain areas. All right. Merrick Road will be completely underwater. This will be flooded. This will be gone. So anything south of Sunrise Highway is going to be gone. And if I were the Long Island Railroad, I'd start looking at raising some of those substations along the Babylon line because some of them are in areas that could wind up flooding. I remember this doesn't take into account the tropical storm and the increased tropical storm and hurricane activity that's going to flood these areas. The water will go past Sunrise Highway. So the water goes up to Sunrise Highway in this spot by Newbridge Road. There's actually a substation, a major substation right over here. That's at risk of flooding. We go into Belmore here, and you got to remember those nice stations. They could be underwater too. If the water is very close. I think this map's being too conservative, in my opinion. And you go to Belmore. Parts of Belmore are going to be underwater. The library be very close. The library could be very close to flooding. Merrick Road will be flooded. This park will be underwater. The water, like I said, it looks like it has it going up to Sunrise Highway in this spot by the Wantaw Parkway. Wantaw Parkway could be underwater over here. Are we going to Wantaw Park, Cedar Creek Park? All this is going to be underwater. All of this. This whole area is going to be underwater, and you can see all the houses here that are going to be flooded. You're talking thousands and probably millions of people will be flooded out. Alright? Again, this is what I mean. This is the South Shore in the future. This is the South Shore in the future. Let's go further east. Alright, we showed you Mass Pequot. Here you go. Massapequa Lake, Hicksville Road. This whole area is going to be underwater. Head out to Suffolk County. Let's go to the village of Babylon and show you what's going to happen to the village of Babylon. Argyle Lake will be underwater. The water will be very close to downtown, very close to flooding downtown. It will also be, here's the Babylon yard right here. The water will be very close to flooding the Babylon train yard. Again, this is key infrastructure for the tracks may be elevated, but a lot of the substations, this is not elevated over here. It's actually a very low-lying area and susceptible to flooding. This whole area, Argyle Lake, a lot of downtown is going to be flooded. But they just keep putting the investment in here. Let's go further east. So let's look at some other towns. I think this is Bayshore over here. I don't know, the town labels aren't showing up on here, but I think this is Bayshore. No, this is Islip, I think, over here. This is Bayshore over here. Part of Bayshore will be flooded. Islip, this is Islip, I think, over here. This will be flooded. Say goodbye to Bayard Cutting Arboretum, because that's probably a good part of that's going to be flooded too. Look at this. The water's going to come up along the rivers too, so a good part of Connecticut River State Park will flood. Sayville. This is Sayville right over here. Parts of Sayville will flood. This is Sayville. Like I said, the town labels aren't on here, but it's hard to find all the towns. But I think this is Sayville over here. Or is it over here? No, it's over here. So this is downtown Sayville. So Sayville might be dry, but the water's very close. And again, frequent tropical storms are going to flood this area. All right. The water's going to come along the river. Patchogue. That's the other area. This Patchogue area, the area we were in the other day, all this stuff's going to be underwater. A lot of this stuff. The water looks very close to the train station, flooding the train station, flooding the Riverwalk area, downtown. It's close. It's close. The South Shore is going to get hammered by these climate change phenomenon. And, you know, they just keep investing. All the businesses just see the demographics. They don't see the big picture and the fact that this is not an area that's going to be habitable in as little as 10 to 20 years. I can go further east, but I'm just showing the more densely populated areas because they keep pouring the investment in here, into these areas. And meanwhile, the middle of the island will be fine. We'll be high and dry. We're in the middle here. The elevation's 100 feet, but they don't want to invest here. They don't see the big picture. And I know I've made a video about this before. I know I had, but you know, it needs to be said over and over again because you're literally putting all the millions of dollars that are going to be lost. I'm trying to talk some sense into people that we need to start investing in the middle of the island and stop this favoritism toward the South Shore because you're literally throwing your money into the ocean. It's going to flood. It's going to go underwater. This is just if half of Greenland melted, all right? This is just if half of Greenland melted. This doesn't even figure all the other things that are going to be happening. I wouldn't be living on the South Shore if I were you. All right? I know I made that other video yesterday saying, well, you got to be on the South Shore. I don't want to be on the South Shore because I know the future is not going to be good for that area. It's not going to be good. People are going to have to wake up one of these days and realize that the climate is changing. And yeah, the North Shore will be okay too. The North Shore will be okay too. All right? The climate's changing. There's not going to be enough room on the North Shore for all the people on the South Shore to live. They're going to have to live in the middle of the island. We are going to have to live together because this is the future. The ice is melting. We are in a climate crisis. And it's time to put aside our petty differences to save this planet. All right? Because without planet Earth, there is no humanity. There is no life. It's the only place in the universe we know that life can exist at this moment. It's time to treat it with respect and treat each other with respect and stop this favoritism once and for all. Take care.